France didn't just beat Sweden in the round of 32, folks. They sent a massive, undeniable warning shot to every single team still alive in this tournament. Seriously, on a baking hot day in New Jersey, Les Bleus completely dismantled the Swedes in a 3-0 demolition, keeping a flawless clean sheet and establishing one very clear reality. France is, without a doubt, the most complete and formidable team on the planet right now. They aren't just looking for another trophy. They're aiming for true historical greatness. We're talking about becoming only the third nation ever to reach 3 consecutive World Cup finals, joining the legendary ranks of Germany from '82 to '90 and Brazil from '94 to 2002. And just listen to this number, 13. That's how many goals France has smashed into the back of the net in just 4 matches so far, all while conceding only a single time. They are easily the highest scoring team in the competition. But here's the scary part. This isn't just a temporary run of form, it's a trend. They are currently on an unprecedented streak of 5 consecutive World Cup matches with 3 or more goals. Against Sweden alone, they fired off 25 shots. That's their highest total in a single World Cup match since 1998. The Athletics projection model actually gives them a 29% chance of winning the entire tournament. Because, look, scoring 3 goals in a single World Cup match is hard. Doing it consistently, that is the absolute mark of champions. The sheer awe and intimidation this team inspires is probably best summed up by opposing managers, who are basically conceding that playing Les Bleus is a total tactical nightmare. Just listen to Sweden's manager, Graham Potter, after their knockout match. He practically threw his hands up, admitting he simply hasn't seen a better team. Between the sheer quality all over the pitch and the terrifying options they have waiting on the bench, France is breaking their opponent's spirits before the referee even blows the final whistle.
All right, let's get right into part 1, the fearsome foursome. Pick your poison.
Because when France attacks, defenders are forced into making completely impossible choices. You commit to stopping one superstar, and boom, you leave yourself wide open to a walking inevitability, Kylian Mbappé. 18 goals in just 18 World Cup appearances. Let that sink in. He is currently tied with Lionel Messi on 6 goals for the 2026 Golden Boot, and with that 18th career World Cup goal, he's just one single goal behind Messi's all-time record of 19 in 29 matches. Oh, and he also just passed Olivier Giroud as France's all-time leading scorer. Like I said, Mbappé has become something of an inevitability. It's no longer a question of if he'll impact a match, but simply how and when. And here's the thing. France doesn't just take a lot of wild shots, they finish them with a terrifying clinical efficiency. Mbappé converts over 50% of his big chances, and Ousmane Dembélé, who already has 4 goals this tournament himself, is right behind him at 48%. If you give these guys even a single inch of space in the box, that ball is going in the back of the net. They absolutely do not waste their opportunities. So how do all these pieces fit together so perfectly? Well, Mbappé is the ultimate finisher, right? The first and final option. But if Mbappé is the one to finish, Michael Olise is the creative brain who unlocks the defenses. Olise is currently leading the entire tournament with 5 assists, making him the first player to provide 5 or more assists at a single World Cup since 1994. He's averaging over 2.5 key passes a game. Then you throw Dembélé into the mix on the right, a totally 2-footed X-factor who creates just as well as he shoots. It's a perfectly balanced trifecta of speed, vision, and execution. But what happens when those starters get tired? Well, for the opposition, it somehow gets even worse. France possesses arguably the deepest attacking unit in the world. They bring on guys like Bradley Barcola, who literally just scored against Sweden, and absolutely fearless 21-year-old wildcards like Désiré Doué. When opposing legs get heavy around the 70th minute, France just rotates their attack and injects pure, unadulterated chaos without dropping a single ounce of quality. That is a luxury very, very few teams in international football history have ever had.
Which brings us to part 2, cracking the low block, Deschamps' tactical blueprint.
Now, you might be wondering, what happens if a team just packs their defenders in and parks the bus? How does France score then? The answer lies in dominating a very specific zone on the pitch, the half space. These are those tricky vertical corridors right between the center of the pitch and the wide sidelines. France totally rules this territory through constant, coordinated midfield rotations. Instead of lazily passing the ball around the outside of a defensive block, they actively bring players inside and flood these half spaces to rip the opposition's shape apart. They do this step by step using a brilliant principle called overload to isolate. First, they flood one side of the pitch, say the left half space, with 3 or 4 players. Second, they force the defending team to panic and shift all their players over to stop the breakthrough. And third, they spring the trap. A rapid, diagonal switch finds an isolated winger, like Dembélé, on the far side, who now has a one-on-one with a totally exposed defender. It isn't luck, folks. It's calculated structural manipulation.
And they execute this flawlessly because manager Didier Deschamps does something incredibly smart. He lets his players import their elite European club habits directly into the national team. William Saliba brings his high-pressure build-up play straight from the English Premier League. Antoine Griezmann brings the intricate positional play he mastered in La Liga. And Adrien Rabiot anchors the whole thing with the tactical discipline he honed in Serie A. They aren't trying to learn a brand new system. They are combining their world-class club instincts to form an unstoppable machine.
Moving right along to part 3, the shield and the mastermind, adapting to win.
Now, attacking brilliance is only half the story here. There is an incredibly touching, often overlooked story about this team's unity. Deschamps recently returned to the dugout after attending his mother's funeral. When Mbappé scored the opening goal in their next match, he ran straight to the sideline to embrace his coach, and the entire team joined in a massive group hug. As Deschamps put it, this group is united. The collective strength is above everything. And that unity is guided by a mastermind who now holds a record 18 wins as a World Cup coach. Just look at his tactical flexibility in their opening match against Senegal. France started with a 4-2-4 expansive press, but Senegal was finding space. Deschamps didn't panic. He immediately adapted, abandoning the high press for a compact 4-4-1-1 shape to close passing lanes and moved Olise centrally. That single adjustment completely shut Senegal down and unlocked France's attack.
And backing up that tactical flexibility is a frankly terrifying defensive shield. Even if you manage to survive their attack and launch a counter, this backline will ruthlessly shut you down. William Saliba boasts a 93.2% pass accuracy. Dayot Upamecano retains possession in a massive 74% of high-pressure situations. And Jules Koundé's intelligent central positioning constantly snuffs out wide threats. They don't just defend, they steal the ball and immediately feed it right back to their attackers. Which leads us to part 4. Can anyone stop them? The final verdict. France possesses unmatched speed, suffocating tactical depth, and elite European experience. But most importantly, they are on a mission. Deschamps delivered this chilling reminder to the rest of the world, actively warning his squad against the exact same complacency that ruined their 2002 title defense. There's no arrogance here, folks, only a terrifying, laser-focused objective to lift that trophy.
So, Paraguay is up next in the round of 16, but with Mbappé chasing total immortality, Olise pulling the strings in the midfield, and Deschamps masterfully guiding their tactics, the question isn't whether France is formidable. The real question is, who can possibly stop them? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Who beats France? And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more World Cup updates. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.